I mean, one of the big problems that we have had with the whole of this process is that, in effect, Parliament has been excluded, I'm afraid to say, from the sort of debate and indeed decisions that would have helped and enabled the government to move forward and progress and form a consensus so that we get the very best Brexit deal. I'm afraid we have been excluded. That has been wrong in my view. But by the end, we certainly should not be excluded.
But the government have made it pretty clear that whilst there may well be a vote, particularly if you win on this amendment, it will be a take it or leave it vote. Here's the deal, you can either accept it or there will be no deal and we'll leave the EU without any kind of agreement.
No, if you look at the amendment as we put forward, in fact, there would be other alternatives. And one of those, I mean, I'm not saying this is all hypothetical because we all want a good deal and it's difficult to see that the government wouldn't bring a good deal to the House in any event. But just to make it clear, and this is hypothetical, it would mean that, for example, Parliament could say to government, well, go back, seek an extension, as we know is there in Article 50. It's perfectly possible that with the agreement of, obviously, our country and the other 27 members of the EU, to seek an extension so that we do continue the negotiations and we get a deal that is good for our country.
But the crucial question
is...
is...
all options open, and that's the most important thing.
In those circumstances, how many Conservative MPs do you think really would take that option? Because it's only if you get the votes of enough rebels that you would be able to ask the government to go back and try and renegotiate. Have you got the numbers to do that?
No. Do forgive me. You're jumping way down the line here. I'm talking about an amendment that keeps options open. I am certainly not speculating as to what might happen at the conclusion of the negotiations and any deal. So do forgive me, I'm not even beginning to go there because it's far too speculative. Let's get this bill in good shape because the principle of this bill is absolutely spot on and it's right. We need to put into British domestic law existing EU laws, regulations, directives and so on into our substantive law. We all agree that that is the best and that must happen. It's just the means by which we do it that causes problems. And of course, we have this argument and debate about what we call the end game.